Some screen pairings feel temporary. Others stay with people long after the final episode ends. The first time viewers saw Barış and Elçin together on screen, it was clear this was not just another pairing written into a script. If you liked the video, please subscribe and comment. There was a quiet ease between them, something natural that did not need exaggeration. Their scenes felt lived in, like moments borrowed from real life rather than carefully staged television. In the early episodes, their characters met in ordinary circumstances. No dramatic music. No forced tension. Just two people sharing a space, exchanging glances that said more than words ever could. Fans noticed it immediately. Social media filled with short clips, pause screenshots, and comments that all said the same thing in different ways. There was something special here. One scene, still talked about years later, takes place during a simple conversation. They stand a little too close, not because the script demands it, but because the moment feels right. Elçin's character speaks first, her voice calm but layered with meaning. Barış listens, not interrupting, his eyes focused, as if the rest of the world has quietly stepped aside. Nothing dramatic happens, yet fans replay this scene endlessly. It proves that chemistry does not need grand gestures. Sometimes it lives in stillness. What made these moments unforgettable was how comfortable they looked together. Their body language told its own story. A slight smile held a second longer than necessary. A pause before answering, as if choosing the right words mattered deeply. These details made viewers feel included, like silent witnesses to something personal. As the story progressed, their scenes grew richer. Conflict entered, but it never felt loud or forced. When disagreements happened, they unfolded with restraint. Barış's character would turn away, not out of anger, but to think. Elçin's character would wait, giving him space, yet clearly hoping he would turn back. And he always did. Fans loved these moments because they felt honest. Real relationships are built on misunderstanding and return, not constant perfection. One particular scene stands out in memory. It happens at night, under soft lighting that makes everything feel quieter. They talk about dreams, not in dramatic speeches, but in simple sentences. Elçin's character admits a fear she has never voiced before. Barış responds without trying to fix it. He just listens. This scene became a favorite not because of what was said, but because of how it was said. The silence between lines mattered as much as the dialogue. Viewers began to realize why these scenes stayed with them. It was trust. The actors trusted each other enough to let moments breathe. They did not rush emotions. They allowed expressions to change naturally. A smile would fade into seriousness. A serious look would soften into warmth. These transitions felt real, and fans connected to that authenticity. Another reason people never get tired of watching these scenes is how balanced the dynamic feels. Neither character dominates the other. Strength is shared. Sometimes Elçin's character leads with confidence. Other times Barış's character steps forward with quiet reassurance. This balance made their relationship believable and deeply appealing. Even scenes filled with humor carried weight. A playful exchange, a teasing comment, a shared laugh. These moments showed comfort and familiarity. Fans replayed them not just because they were fun, but because they reminded people of their own relationships. Laughter is often where love feels most real. As episodes went on, the audience began to anticipate their scenes more than plot twists. Viewers waited for those small moments. A look across the room. A brief conversation that hinted at deeper feelings. These scenes became emotional anchors in the story. No matter what chaos surrounded them, when Barış and Elçin shared the screen, everything slowed down. What truly made these scenes timeless was the emotional honesty behind them. Nothing felt exaggerated. Love was not shown through dramatic speeches alone, but through presence. Being there,
staying,
choosing each other again and again, even when things felt uncertain. By the end of the first arc, fans were already rewatching earlier episodes. Not because they had missed details, but because these scenes felt comforting, familiar, like returning to a place where emotions made sense. A place where love grew quietly, without noise. And this was only the beginning. As the story moved forward, the connection between Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu deepened in ways that felt organic rather than scripted. Fans noticed how their scenes began to carry a quiet emotional weight. Even moments that seemed simple on the surface slowly revealed layers underneath. A shared silence started to mean as much as a confession. A passing look could carry an entire conversation. One scene that fans return to again and again takes place in a familiar setting, one the audience had already seen many times before. Yet this time, the atmosphere feels different. There is an unspoken tension, not uncomfortable, but heavy with meaning. Elçin's character enters the room first. She hesitates for a brief second before speaking, as if unsure whether this is the right moment. Barış's character notices immediately. He does not rush her.
He waits.
That waiting becomes the heart of the scene. When she finally speaks, her words are careful, measured. She is not asking for reassurance directly, but it is clear she needs it. Barış responds quietly, his tone steady. He does not promise things he cannot guarantee. Instead, he offers honesty. Fans love this scene because it avoids fantasy. It shows two people choosing sincerity over comfort. That choice feels rare and powerful. As their relationship develops, the writers give them moments of distance. These scenes, instead of weakening their bond, make it stronger. When they're apart, the absence feels real. Viewers notice how Barış's character becomes more restrained, more thoughtful. Elçin's character grows quieter, but also more self-aware. When they finally reunite on screen, the impact is stronger because the audience has felt the separation with them. There is a reunion scene that fans often describe as unforgettable. No dramatic music announces it. No sudden rush into each other's arms. They see each other from across the space and stop. Just stop. For a moment, neither moves. The world seems to pause. Then slowly they smile. Not wide smiles, but small ones, full of relief. This scene is replayed countless times because it captures something deeply human. Sometimes, seeing someone you care about is enough. Another reason fans never grow tired of watching these scenes is how consistently the characters respect each other. Even in disagreement, there is care. During one argument, Elçin's character speaks with frustration, her voice steady but firm. Barış listens, clearly affected, but he does not dismiss her feelings. When he responds, he acknowledges her perspective before sharing his own. This balance makes the conflict feel real and mature. Viewers appreciate seeing love portrayed without cruelty. The physical closeness in their scenes also evolves naturally. Early on, there is distance, a careful space between them. Later, that space disappears without announcement. A hand rests briefly on an arm. A shoulder leans into another during a quiet moment. These gestures are never exaggerated. They appear when the emotion calls for them, not when the script demands them. Fans notice these details and cherish them. One particularly loved scene involves laughter. It comes after a heavy emotional exchange, when tension finally breaks. Elçin's character makes a small, unexpected joke. Barış's reaction is immediate and genuine. He laughs, not politely but openly. That laughter feels earned. It reminds viewers that love is not only about deep conversations and intense moments. It is also about lightness. about being able to breathe together. As episodes continue, fans begin to recognize a pattern. Their best scenes often happen in quiet corners of the story, away from crowds, away from major plot twists, in moments where nothing urgent needs to happen. This is where their connection shines the most. The camera often lingers, allowing expressions to change naturally. The audience is trusted to understand what is happening without being told directly. There is also growth. Elçin's character becomes more confident in expressing her needs. Barış's character becomes more open, less guarded. This growth is not sudden. It happens slowly, across episodes, across shared experiences. Fans appreciate this pacing. It feels earned. It makes rewatching especially rewarding because small changes become clearer the second or third time. By this point in the story, viewers are no longer just watching a romance unfold. They are emotionally invested. These scenes become comfort viewing. Fans return to them during quiet evenings, replaying familiar moments. Not because they want surprises, but because they want to feel something steady and genuine. The connection between Barış and Elçin on screen turns these scenes into something timeless. They do not belong to a single episode or moment. They live on through replays, edits, and memories. Each viewing reveals a new detail, a softer expression, a longer pause, a deeper meaning. And as the story continues, fans know that even stronger moments are still waiting ahead. By the time the story reaches its middle chapters, viewers already know what to expect when Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu share a scene. Not drama for the sake of drama. Not rushed romance. What they expect is something quieter and deeper. And that expectation is almost always rewarded. At this stage, their characters have history. Every look carries memory. Every pause holds something unsaid. One of the most rewatched scenes from this part of the story takes place after a long day, when both characters are visibly tired. There is no big conversation planned. They simply sit together. The camera does not rush. It allows the moment to exist. Elçin's character rests back slightly, her posture relaxed in a way that shows trust. Barış's character glances at her, then looks away, then back again. That small movement says more than dialogue ever could. Fans love this scene because it shows comfort, not excitement, not uncertainty. Comfort. The kind that only comes after emotional effort. The kind that grows when two people have faced misunderstandings and chosen to stay. This is the kind of love rarely shown so patiently on screen. Another unforgettable moment arrives during a difficult choice. Elçin's character is faced with a decision that could change everything. She does not ask Barış's character what to do. Instead, she shares what she is afraid of. He listens without interruption. When he speaks, he does not push his own opinion. He tells her he will respect her choice, whatever it is. That line becomes iconic among fans. Not because it sounds dramatic, but because it sounds real. It shows support without control. As the episodes continue, their emotional language becomes more subtle. They no longer need long conversations to understand each other. A look is enough. A change in tone signals concern. When Barış's character senses something is wrong, he does not demand explanations. He waits for her to be ready. This patience becomes one of the most admired traits in their relationship. There is also a scene filled with quiet heartbreak. Circumstances force them into opposite corners, emotionally speaking. They talk, but the words feel careful, restrained. Elçin's character smiles, but it does not reach her eyes. Barış notices immediately. His reaction is controlled, but the pain is visible. Fans often mention this scene because it shows restraint. Instead of tears and raised voices, the emotion stays under the surface. That restraint makes it stronger. What keeps viewers returning to these scenes is how natural the performances feel. Nothing looks over-rehearsed. Emotions unfold gradually. When Elçin's character finally allows herself to show vulnerability again, it feels earned. When Barry's character opens up about his fears, it feels brave, not dramatic. These moments stay with the audience because they reflect real emotional processes. There is a particularly loved scene involving a simple gesture. Barry's character adjusts something small for Elçin's character, almost absent-mindedly. She notices and smiles. That smile is soft, grateful, full of meaning. Fans replay this moment endlessly. It reminds them that love often lives in unnoticed actions, not grand speeches. As the story deepens, humor becomes gentler. Their jokes are quieter, more personal. They tease each other with familiarity, not sarcasm. Laughter feels like relief rather than entertainment. Viewers feel like they are watching two people who truly know each other, not just characters following a script. The pacing of their relationship continues to impress fans. There is no rush toward perfection. Mistakes still happen. Misunderstandings still arise. But now the difference is how they handle them. They talk. They listen. They learn. This growth makes the story satisfying to rewatch because viewers can trace how far they have come. By the end of this part of the story, the audience feels deeply connected. These scenes are no longer just favorite moments. They feel personal. Fans watch them during quiet nights, during breaks, during moments when they want to feel something genuine. That is why they never grow tired of them. And with every episode that follows, it becomes clear that the most powerful scenes are still ahead. As the story moves closer to its most emotional stretch, the scenes between Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu begin to feel even more intimate. By now, the audience knows these characters deeply. Viewers recognize their silences, understand their hesitation, and sense their emotions before a single word is spoken. This familiarity is exactly why these scenes become so powerful. One of the most talked about moments in this part of the story happens during a turning point neither character expected. Circumstances force them into a difficult conversation they have both been avoiding. There is no anger in the room, only honesty. Elçin's character speaks slowly, choosing her words with care. She is no longer afraid of being misunderstood. Barış listens, his expression calm but serious. When he finally responds, his voice is steady, but there is emotion beneath it. Fans love this scene because it feels like growth. It shows two people who have learned how to communicate without fear. Another unforgettable scene unfolds during a quiet evening. The setting is simple. Soft light. Minimal background noise. They sit close, not touching at first. The space between them feels intentional. As the conversation deepens, that space slowly disappears. A shoulder brushes against another. No one pulls away. This gradual closeness feels natural, not staged. Viewers replay this moment because it reflects trust built over time. At this stage, the characters are no longer discovering each other. They are choosing each other. This choice becomes clear in a scene where Elçin's character is offered an opportunity that could change her future. It is not an easy decision. She shares the news with Barış, unsure of his reaction. Instead of worry or doubt, he responds with support. He tells her she deserves the chance. There is no selfishness in his tone. Fans often mention this scene as one of the most mature portrayals of love on television. It shows encouragement without insecurity. There is also a moment of vulnerability that stands out strongly. Barış's character opens up about something he has kept hidden for a long time. His voice lowers. His posture changes. Elçin listens closely, her expression soft and focused. She does not interrupt. When he finishes, she responds gently, not with advice, but with understanding. This scene resonates deeply with viewers because it shows emotional safety. The kind that allows someone to reveal their fears without feeling judged. Conflict still exists, but it takes on a different shape now. When disagreements arise, they are quieter, more reflective. One scene shows them standing apart after a misunderstanding. There is no shouting, just distance. The tension comes from what is not said. Eventually, Elçin's character breaks the silence with a simple question. Barış answers honestly. That honesty becomes the bridge back to each other. Fans appreciate these scenes because they show that love is not about avoiding conflict, but about handling it with care. Humor continues to play a gentle role. A small joke appears during a heavy moment, easing the tension. Their smiles are softer now, more knowing. Laughter feels like shared history rather than flirtation. These moments remind viewers that joy does not disappear as relationships deepen. It simply changes form. One particularly emotional scene involves a promise. Not a dramatic declaration, but a quiet assurance. Barış's character tells Elçin's character that no matter how uncertain things become, he will be there. The line is simple, but the delivery makes it unforgettable. Elçin's reaction is subtle. Her eyes soften. She nods. Fans often describe this scene as comforting. It feels steady, reliable. As this part of the story comes to a close, the audience feels a sense of calm mixed with anticipation. These scenes have built something solid. The relationship now feels grounded, real, and deeply rooted. Viewers are no longer watching to see if they will come together. They are watching to see how they will continue to grow. This is why fans never get tired of these moments. They are not flashy. They do not rely on shock. They rely on truth, on patience, on connection. And just when everything feels settled, the story prepares to take its final emotional steps. As the story reaches its final emotional phase, the scenes between Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu carry a sense of completeness. Nothing feels rushed. Nothing feels unfinished. Every moment seems to echo what came before, making these scenes especially meaningful for fans who have followed the journey from the beginning. One of the most replayed scenes from this part happens during a quiet moment of reflection. They are together, but the mood is thoughtful. Elçin's character looks back on how much has changed. Her words are calm, almost soft, as if she is speaking more to herself than to him. Barış listens with a gentle expression, clearly remembering the same moments. When he responds, he does not add much. He simply agrees. That shared understanding, built without explanation, is what makes the scene powerful. Fans love it because it feels like closure without finality. Another unforgettable scene takes place when life presents one last test. Not a dramatic crisis, but a subtle challenge that asks both characters to trust what they have built. There is a moment of hesitation. A glance filled with question and answer at the same time. Elçin's character steps forward first. Barış follows without doubt. This simple action becomes symbolic. It shows unity. Viewers often describe this scene as quietly emotional, the kind that stays with you long after the episode ends. Thank you, guys.